Hey trainers, how are the gym battles coming along? Looks like you really have a good handle on things. So you ready to step up to the next big challenge? So the next part can be divided into two different paths. You either got the solo play or you got the group play. Now, we're going to discuss the group play for right now since we're at the gyms and that can deal with group play. It can be solo play. But for now, as I just said, we're going to focus on the group play. So raiding is going to be the next step in our growth as a trainer. But what exactly are raids and why are they so important? Well, to simplify things, they are similar to gym battles since you'll work within the same mechanics. Dodging by swiping left or right. Some can be completed solo while others will require group effort. And to win, you will need to reduce the raid boss's HP to 0 before the timer runs out. The biggest difference between a gym battle and a raid is that you are given the chance to catch that Pokemon after you defeat them and are rewarded upon defeating the raid boss with a number of items that are considered rare or at the very least very uncommon outside of raid victories, such as golden raspberries, silver pineapples, fast and charged TMs, and even rare candies. Keep in mind it can even be rare candy XL as well. Keep in mind that the Pokemon that you catch from raids are typically higher levels and have great IVs, with shadow raids being the exception to this, but this will be covered later on. Next, we got to discuss the different raid tiers, which will help you determine their difficulties. So first we have tier 1, which typically consists of basic Pokemon and are very easy to solo or will require very little effort to defeat. Next up we have tier 3, which, much like tier 1, are often very soloable. However, these can sometimes provide some difficulty, especially if you are not using type advantages or if you have Pokemon that are very low level. Third, we have tier 4, which typically are reserved for Mega Evolutions, but have been used as strong Stage 1 evolutions, especially during community days and different events like that. Just keep that in mind. Alright, so now we are in the raid lobby. Now we got to decide what Pokemon to use. But as you can see from right here, you can see that I do have pre-selected battle party here. You do see the recommended that's over here, and you'll see as we swipe through, I've got different teams. One's for gyms, one's for Mega Pokemon, one for Shadow Pokemon, and one for Tier 5. Now this is all set up to the raid type I'm going to be going into. So for instance, this one we're going to be going into here, it's a Tier 3. I don't have anything set up for it, but I do know the weaknesses, so we're going to go and utilize that. Now luckily for us, an Onix is weak to the same things that a Regirock is, except it does have some exceptions, being it is part ground, and while Regirock is just a standard rock. So you'll see right here, we're going to use our Tier 5 team. Everything there counters rock. You have steel, you have grass, you have water, you have ground. And fighting, you can always bring that as well. You got to make sure you've got your party set up for this. If you don't, it takes more time away from everything else you could be doing, such as you could be using items, right? You can see those at the top of the screen. You could be Mega Evolving, which you can see right here. This includes Primal Reversion as well. So make sure you guys are utilizing this. This will help you take out these Pokemon. On top of that, you're going to see a little icon over here to go and search for additional party members. Now, you can invite people if you'd like. You don't have to, but it's recommended, especially when you go into the higher tier raids. Now, some of these may be local. Pay attention to that, because if it's a local raid, everybody has to be within range. If they're not, and it cannot be within remote range, it has to be within physical location of it. So you'll see around the rings as we walk around, as long as you can hit it with that outer circle, when it goes all the way out, you can raid it. Next part is you're going to want to go, before you get into these raid lobbies, you're going to want to party up if you can. Now what is this going to do? This is going to increase your damage output. Party power actually allows you to do 2 times the damage that your charge move would have normally done. So this is really, really useful, especially if you're clearing raids as quickly as possible. As long as you have 1 party member in there, you get that party power, which means 2 times damage to whatever you hit with that charge move. Fantastic to use, but we'll cover that in a later video. So now that we have our battle party and party situations all ready to go, we can now invite up to 10 trainers for our from our friends list to the raid, but only 5 at a time. So keep this in mind. You're going to go 5, quickly get your friends. I set it up by online. That's the quickest way you can do it. Set up your online teams first, your online friends list, go grab from there. Okay, now if you know people are playing offline, it says offline, but they're still playing, and you know they for sure are playing, and they will take your raid invite, it's totally worthwhile just to go and add those people. So keep in mind, organize these with your friends. Some people don't want to remain online because they get just spammed with invites. But keep in mind, there is a raid cap of 20 trainers per lobby, so once it hits 20, no more can even be jumping in at all. That includes ones that already had the invite and just didn't make it. Keep that in mind. Now, good luck on your raids, trainer. So you guys can see, we've already handled our Onyx here. So quickly handled that, doesn't take very much time at all. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next video.